Hello and welcome everyone to the Storytellers Hearth Relay Weekend, sprint number 12. We are the second to last one, so there's one more after us before the closing of the weekend. And hopefully you guys have been able to get a lot of writing done or whatever it is that you've been working on, because I have been working nonstop on my Kickstarter that's going to launch on Tuesday, but hopefully I'm going to get some writing in on the sprint. I'm going to let my co-hosts introduce themselves. We'll start with Alyce.
All right. My name is Alyce Reeds. I make AuthorTube and BookTube content here on the YouTubes, and I stream on Tuesdays through Saturdays in the mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern. Go ahead, Devon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Devon. I write fantasy and steampunk with snarky female leads and a splash of romance. I am also the founder of All Call Indie, which is a database of freelancers for indie authors, as well as the publicity chair for the AuthorTube Writing Conference. You can find me here on YouTube. I do BookTube and AuthorTube content.
Kauffman.
I'm used to welcoming other people into the stream. Greetings, friends. I am Kauffman. I'm a daily writing streamer, 400 consecutive writing streams and counting. I'm on a mission to help writers with the process, lifestyle, and mindset that it takes to be a writer, because it's a journey, and that's what we do over at Right Now. I'm also a writing coach and a book editor and a dragon enthusiast. So if there's ever a writing problem that you cannot solve, all you have to do is put a dragon on it. And that's me.
Yeah.
Shanon, thank you for having me in this stream.
Yes,
happy to be here with y'all.
Yeah. And so if you guys don't know my co-hosts or know much about them, please go and follow them. Their links are down below. Alyce, I think you're just doing videos at the moment on your channel, and Devon is getting ready for her Kickstarter. So I went and grabbed the link because that's not in the description down below. So I'm dropping the link. This is not live yet, but if you go and follow her Kickstarter, it actually doesn't show any followers until she hits 10, and she has not hit 10. I know there's a few of us. I'm one that's following. So please go follow it. Even if you cannot support her, if you cannot back her later to buy anything for her Kickstarter, following her right now supports her because it bumps it up in the algorithm when she does go live, and she'll get more visibility on the platform itself. So please go follow her. And then, yes. And then Kauffman, you've got editing services. You're actually open right now for people to sign up to editing services. So how would they get a hold of you for that?
Great question. So I'm currently taking on a couple more clients for editing. I do developmental, line, copy, or proofreading. I also offer reading services, but right now I'm at advertising editing. If people want to get a hold of me, they can actually go to my website, thecreativeghost.com. I believe it is linked down in the description down below. Yeah, and that explains more of my, kind of explains the services more in depth.
Let me see. You've got your Right Now channel, writing services website. Yes, it is down there.
Yep.
Okay. And for those who do not know me, I am Shanon. I write under the pen name of SD Houston, and you're here on my channel where I do writing sprints Monday through Thursday. And I'm also part of the Self-Publishing Tips and Tricks podcast with Ben Pick from Running to Write YouTube channel and Jamie from JM Chelly. And we publish content 2 quarters a year, twice a month. And that's always great information that we get with our guests that come on. Then I'm also the founder and conference chair with Devon, part of the AuthorTube Writing Conference. Yes. And we just sat down and went through all the applications and figured out which ones we are going to go through. And then within the next 2 weeks, we still have to figure out our timeline for who's going to be slotted, which we'll be doing that over the next week. So about 2 weeks, we'll start sending out those who have been accepted. And we do that in waves. So over the next month or so, if you have submitted an application, you should be hearing back from us. And let's say hello to people in the chat. So first one here, besides me, I was asking what everyone's working on today. Oh, I didn't ask you guys, what are you guys working on?
I am working on social media content for you.
Yay, this is my Kickstarter.
You can go ahead.
Okay, what am I working on? You know what? It's interesting. I have so many writers in the community who are always balancing and juggling multiple stories at a time. I have been predominantly and exclusively working on my single story, The Last Scarecrow, where a scarecrow and his friends, a pixie, and a crow travel through a post-apocalyptic world, trying to figure out what the nothingness is and face off against the first demon.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. That's all.
And what about you, Alyce?
I'm just working on my queer sci-fi romance.
Did you get your video done? I know you were working on a video editing last night.
Oh yeah, it goes live at 2.
Okay, awesome.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's exciting.
It's January TBR wrap up.
And I didn't say, I also have a Kickstarter. It's linked down below if you want to follow me. It kicks off on Tuesday. Again, if you can't back me, but you want to support me, you can go follow. That always helps with bumping up in the algorithm. What I'm working on is I'm gonna get into writing here in a minute, but I'm trying to finish up this one video that I can use on my channel during my writing sprints. That's about my books. So I do have a timer that's coming up here that we're going to be using that's about my books too, but I want to have this special one for the launch day on Tuesday. So I'm trying to finish that and then get into some writing. So in the chat, we have Gwen, hello, working on extended epilogues from our contemporary romance series. I'm relaunching with second editions this year, which I was like, oh, that's exciting. Are you relaunching on like retailer platforms? Are you doing it direct? Or are you doing, because I know a lot of people do relaunch of second editions on Kickstarter. So I didn't know if that was something you were doing. Hello, Mars. How are you? And Jessica, hello. First sprint will probably be a lunch sprint, but then it's back to draft 2 of Salvation. Make sure you hit the like button. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Joanne, hello. Good morning. I'll be working on my pastry chef to rivals, lovers, work in progress, project Sugar and Spice, which I'm still looking forward to. We have a Sam. Hello. I'll just get through a couple comments and then we'll let Sam introduce herself. Well, I'm sure probably all of you guys know her as the
organizer.
Person of this of the Rican Relay. Back when it was a worldwide write-a-thon. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to Sugar and Spice. Joanne already has a book out that is previous to this. It's not exactly, you don't have to read the first one to understand the second one, but it was Culinary Confessions. So, yeah, sweet romance. As Gwen says, thanks for the reminder to eat. Hello, Weaver Words. How are you? Some Deep Mystery. Hello. Jacqueline, hello. How's the weekend going for everyone? Going well. And I'm sure I've heard a lot of great things, people getting stuff done this weekend, and not just writing, but lots of stuff happening. Pretty good, bit of chaotic this weekend. I'm gonna probably skip through some of these, say just hello so we can get going, because we'll probably be here for a while if I keep going on this. Hello, Carla, how's it going? And Randy. And then Cool Gamer, hello, CB. First sprint will be my to get out of bed and get ready for the day. That sounds like a plan. Hello, Essie. How's it going? Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's for my world, for my book. So, Andrea, hello. How's it going? There is the link for the Kickstarter for Jazz and Duology for Devon, if you want to go follow that. And I love your hair that way. Yeah, it's cute, isn't it? I didn't say anything, but yeah, I was number 10. Well, welcome, number 10. And Richard, hello. How's it going? It's been minutes since I've caught up with you. Malin, boop the like button. Have to finish this last revision, so going to relax and read for. Oh, I finished this last revision, so I'm going to relax and read for the rest of the weekend. Might also do some vlogs. Still working. Chance Polly Sports Romance, and that was the Polly Volley, right? The Polly. I remember that from yesterday. Finishing Act 1 of new book, hoping to get Act 2 done. Nice. Working on lunch for the kiddos. Mom is here. Woohoo, Sam. First sprint, we'll be going through my bookshelf to pick out some paperbacks to read tonight. Just doing some relaunch on retailers on my own store. Okay. I mostly want to take the ISBNs back from Amazon for books 1 through 4. So did you get your own ISBNs then? Is that what you were hoping to do? And Sam in the Abyss. All right, Sam, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, I am writing Mom Smith El Nasset, and on my channel I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things. I host live streams on Mondays where they are write-ins, let's talks, sometimes parties, sometimes writing challenges like the Flash Fiction Free-For-All that we did last Monday, and we'll be doing another one next month. I also do Whip Wednesdays with CB Friends. This week it will be on my channel, where it is a block of time where we work on nothing but our whips, because sometimes life can get chaotic. We also do a Baldur's Gate Let's Play some Fridays. We don't have a steady schedule yet, but we're working on that. And we talk about books that we enjoy through our book talk. The next one is the finale of Scum Villain Self-Saving System by MXTX. So subscribe to us, follow, and you guys can stay up to date on what we're doing when we're doing it. And as Shanon said, I am one of the co-organizers for this event. So I hope everybody's having a good time and a good weekend. Sorry I was a little late. Stomach flu's going through my house. My husband caught it, so I was kind of up on and off last night again.
I had actually just assumed because you were an ancient immortal.
That's also fair.
I meant to ask you, Sam, when you guys do your book talk, do you guys stick with like certain genres, or are you kind of all over the place? Is it fiction or do you put nonfiction in there?
Oh, no. So the only rule of the book talk is one of us has to love the book. This was sort of my way, because I suggested it to CB, and so it was sort of my way to talk about books that I loved and read books that she loves, because like we have similar taste, but we drift towards different things just naturally. One reason being different generations, because I'm millennial, she's Gen Z. And then another reason is just preferences in general. Richard, I literally labeled myself ancient immortal. He's not being rude. That's me.
We're like, you know what? We're still drinking our coffee. We're waking up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I need to get some more coffee. Thanks for the reminder.
But yeah, so primarily so far, because it's still fairly new and we're only on episode 6. Mine have all been paranormal romances, because that's what I love. We've read 2 Dark Hunters and 1 supernatural single, which is Not the Witch You Read. No, Not the Witch You Wed. And we've read Fantasy Lover, and I forget the name of Kirian's book. I think it's Night Pleasures. And then she is really big into Danmes. And MXTX is her favorite author, which the way that a lot of the Danmes work is they're essentially like really long web novels that then get published into volumes. So we've kind of been reading the same web novel, but we're on volume 3. So I have read the beginning and the middle of this novel, and now we're going to read the finale. And then volume 4 is after the web novel was finished, a bunch of like extra short stories and things were released. And so that's volume 4. So I'm very excited to get to the finale of the story.
That's exciting. How do you decide which book that you want to read next? Because there's so many out there. Is it just like, oh, okay, this sounds like a cool book, let's try it?
No, it's literally like I pick a book I love, she picks a book she loves, so and we take turns. So
one of you guys have already read the book, but the other one needs to read the book.
Yes, that's like the requirement, is that one of us has to enjoy the book, because that way there will always be at least one person adamantly defending the book and stuff. Because the point of our book talk isn't necessarily to analyze the writing, although we do a lot of that just because that is how both of our brains work. So we do talk about like the characterization and stuff, because we appreciate a lot about that. But we just kind of want to hype up the things we enjoy and like talk about them and everything. But also because of how we are, we do what is the word I am looking for? We do acknowledge the like issues and stuff, and like some of the tropes that the books have. Like one of the things we talked about was we both kind of hate the title Not the Witch You Wed, because it does not make sense for the plot of the book at all. Like under no circumstances does this title match the actual book. So we kind of talked about that. Also, with Scum Villain, we talked about the fact that, like, for me, it's a little hard to ship the main couple right now because they fall under kind of a pattern of an issue in gay romance that was an issue when I was growing up, but is not really an issue anymore, or like the younger generation doesn't really know the history behind it. And so it's really interesting to discuss those kinds of different things. Now, volume 3 may change it, but we will see.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to do 45-minute sprints only because it's the only sprint timer I have made that has my books in full in it. So I want to continue just my Kickstarter is coming up for anybody who's interested in that. We'll come back and we'll talk again. And then I know Kauffman has to leave out early because he's got sprints on his channel later. So, yeah.
Yes. Today, we're hosting a podcast today. That's why.
It's podcast, not sprints. Okay, gotcha. All righty. Well, let's see. I got your newsletter. Yeah, I sent a newsletter out late last night. Anyone who's on my newsletter to say, hey, here is the preview link for my Kickstarter, so people could go in there and they can actually comment on it. I've already got a few people who's commenting things to that they would like to see or what they like or don't like. So
that is such a good idea. I should add that to my newsletter for next month.
Yeah.
And make sure to follow it so that you can boost her in the algorithm.
Yes.
Thank you. Yep. That's very, and any of your favorite people who are on Kickstarter that you want to help out. So, all righty, we'll get going here. 3, 2, 1. Good luck. Last time, how did you guys do? I think everyone's on mute.
I had to get there with my mouse pad since I have pens all up in my mouse's way. I did a small variety of things. I was still really nauseous when I woke up this morning, so I went and I ate some an orange and some cottage cheese and took my nausea meds. Then I had to take care of my husband a bit. And I got through a section of the trauma PDF I'm reading.
I remember you talking about that last night.
Yeah, there's 43 pages. I started on page 6 for the weekend. I'm on page 13 now. So,
nice.
Like, I do not expect to finish it this weekend. I just wanted to get through a chunk, and that's what I'm doing.
I got about 837 words.
Nice.
Nice.
Seems like 45 minutes or 12 for you.
Yeah, that usually does.
I like the longer ones, but I know a lot of people are like that it's too long for them.
Yeah, it's actually interesting. I like doing longer ones as well, but what I've learned is that it seems that viewers on average like shorter ones.
Yeah.
Because then it improves the engagement and people being able to talk in between.
Yeah, when I am by myself, I can do like an hour-long sprint or a little more because I can get very focused. But if I'm doing a stream or something, 45 is the most I'll do. That's usually on Whip Wednesday because Whip Wednesday is more of a focusing thing.
Yeah.
But then like my Monday lives are more social, and that max is 30 because part of why I started the Monday lives was so I could have human interaction outside my children.
Yeah, I do think it depends on what your goal is. Where my goal for my streams are typically I want to get writing done. So.
Right. Okay. And there's the difference. I feel like I always want to get writing done, Shanon, but I try to like balance that with the community building aspect of it, and then I end up leaning towards the community. Oh man, I probably need to focus more on the writing so I can actually get
we could split it like Sam does.
Yeah. Also for a live stream, if it all depends on your purpose for the live stream. If your purpose for the live stream is to build up your community and to engage with them, leaning towards their I used to do polls for sprint times, and then like there was just
that's actually not a bad idea. I think polling.
Yeah. So when I started doing polls, but then it kind of became predictable. So then I'm like, okay, so this is gonna be our new thing from now on. So like I don't see anything wrong with figuring out what your community wants and then going with it. I actually think that that's a wise decision, but also keep in mind that you don't like if you're not up for it or if there's something you specifically need to do, then doing what you need to do that day or that moment. Like if you want to stream and engage, but you're like under the weather or something, so you need longer sprints that day, then go ahead and do it. Like I remind my chat sometimes that my channel is not a democracy; it's a Sam dictatorship. So I will take your opinions into account.
I love that. It's a Sam dictatorship. Oh, that's funny.
So how'd you do, Devon?
I was figuring out some things with TikTok because I don't,
Oh, that
I don't even have a TikTok account.
Okay. I responded to your message. I didn't see that until like right before the timer was up.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah. Kauffman, were you able to get anything done?
Yes. So I did, I think I got through almost about 2,000 words, but I'm revising right now. So it's like 2,000 words of revising.
Yeah.
I've been like going through this chapter. because I'm going through the second draft of this book, and I wasn't anticipating how much more rewriting I was going to do as compared to revising. But it's great. Everything that comes out is awesome. It's just the process takes time, as we all know.
Yeah, I don't like the revising part.
Oh, I love it. It's just the time factor. I want to get the book out.
True. And this is going to be your debut, right?
Yes. This is going to be the debut. Yeah, and I mean, I feel pretty confident, even though it's like a debut novel for me. I've really spent a year trying to build up a community. So I feel like everyone in the community, in my writing community, is very aware of the book.
Mm-hmm.
I think people generally said that The Last Scarecrow comes across as The Wizard of Oz meets The Never-Ending Story, told in a post-apocalyptic landscape.
You got your marketing
I'm always
going.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, when you guys have, because I know you guys have all of you guys have published books before, right? Is everyone here published?
I don't think so.
Technically, I unpublished them though, so I consider myself a re-debut when I'm working on my re-debut.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've been through the publishing process, so
okay, cool. Yeah. So you understand it then. Something that comes to mind is when I start talking about the book, I feel like I have to like figure out, okay, how do I talk about the book effectively in a way that's like short and brief, like shorter than a pitch, but longer than a blurb. Devon, how do you guys go about talking about your book when people ask you about it?
I
can't shut up about my book, so.
I think kind of the easiest way is I figure out what is what is the selling point to me, or what is kind of the concept that I like the most. Like, I'm going to use All That Glitters, for example, because All That Glitters is a short story that's free on my website to read, and I wrote it during the Storytellers Hearth writing read. They actually did a lot of the like revisions and beta recruitment through this event too. And so whenever I would talk about it on stream, I would be like, yeah, I'm working on my murder short story. And using the word murder like really stuck with people. And I would talk about it as it's a short story from a villainous perspective of a well, I didn't say it was of a merman, but it is of a merman. So
I mean, you get that from murder, so.
Well, a lot of people actually assumed it was a mermaid.
Oh.
So when they first started reading it, there's a male and a female lead, and they would assume she was the mermaid. And so, but no, 'tis a merman.
A twist.
So yeah, so that is how I would advertise it.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yes, I would I advertised it as a murderous, villainous short story, and that was kind of all most people needed to be interested in it. But
yeah, I use the
sorry, I'm having some brain fog.
Elevator.
No, you're all good.
The elevator pitch idea from actually this book. People ask me what my book's about, and I would go, it has magic in it and some dragons. So I used that book to create like my tagline. It's about a witch who's keeping secrets with her allies, and they have to take down the sleeping queen. And that usually gets most people.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, generally you just need a catchy log line.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having been in the screenwriting world for a very long time. I'm used to the elevator pitch. And then with this book, I have a blurb, I have all the website stuff. But I think what I'm not certain about yet is because I know I'm going to end up saying it so many times, especially throughout the book launch era. I'm not sure what's too short or what's too long to talk about it, right? Like, okay, one line, this is the one line thing, or the blurb, which this gives a little bit more depth.
I would write all of it, because if you ever use any like services to promote your book, like any of the online services that promote your book, some of them only allow so many characters. Like one's like 150 characters, another one's like 500 characters. So just write your log lines and fill it out more and more, so that way you have it for every place you go, and then you also have that copy for when someone asks you about it.
Ooh, that's exciting. Okay.
I don't think I've really come up with a good log line, honestly, for my next book. I will think about it more, because I just got my book description back a couple weeks ago. But the beginning of my Kickstarter I really like, which is she was forced to marry him to save him. She was forced, to save him, she was forced to marry him. To save herself, she was forced to betray him. There you go. So that's the beginning. So I figured that's to get people in.
I will also say having a really good blurb and logline, which your blurb can essentially be your elevator pitch, are very important for marketing. But when you are talking to like readers and stuff, readers, we are simple creatures. You literally just have to tell us you have your favorite trope, or you have an interesting trope. And so, like, especially doing these streams and stuff, you know, when I ask people, well, what are you working on and stuff, and they'll be like, oh, well, I'm working on like my poly romance with like this or that, and a lot of people will be like, say less. Like, I'm there already. Like yesterday, someone was working on their small town second chance romance, and people, like several people were like, hey, say less, I'm there already. So it's like some people really don't need to know anything about the plot. Other people do.
Sorry.
I was gonna say other people do need or want more details, which is again why the blurb and the line are important to have. But when you're like just talking to people and stuff, just like letting them know your bare bones or your basics can get them interested, or maybe even just interested enough to go check out like your website or wherever you have put that marketing out.
So
that actually makes sense. I guess the goal of it is to hook somebody to go to the website or the Amazon page or wherever.
And I would say that with the tropes, that should be part of your marketing blurb as well, because a lot of promotion companies, like ones I've used in the past, my book is still there on their website. And so you put those tropes in there, like those keywords from the tropes. So it doesn't have to be exactly the trope, you know, exactly what it is. But if you have those keywords from the tropes in your marketing copy that you put when you do your promotions, it stays on the site, on the website, and then it gets found that way and it gets indexed.
That's interesting. That's great advice.
All right, let's go through and see how other people did. And for me, I finished my video. It's rendering now, and I was just getting into opening my document and writing a little bit, but I hadn't gotten anywhere. I just opened my document. That was it. Hello. There was a bunch of people who came in, so I try to put everyone up on screen who's come in before this point in the chat, and welcome everyone. 253 words. Had a nice cheese bagel for lunch and refilled my water. Got a couple of chapters in. Looks like people have made some progress, but JL says major distractions at the moment, so hopping off, and we'll try again later. I'm still in bed with my laptop reading a book while my Scrivener mocks me. Oh no, sorry to hear. Draft done for the chapter here, just fleshing it out some. In time for more sprints. Woohoo, welcome back. Sam says, Reed did an intro for the channel, for your YouTube channel, or read through a writing battle piece. I'm working on leaving feedback. Mistakes, maybe make when I'm distracted. Yeah, that happens. I make mistakes even when I'm not distracted. But I seem to get the same amount of words in a 20-minute as 45-minute. You know, and I think that's true for a lot of people. You know, that when the 45 minutes doesn't really work for them, they're not going to be any more productive past a certain point. Did someone say something? Yeah. No.
Oh,
okay.
That was me. I was just making a sound of agreement.
Gotcha. For those who may not know, I am partially tone deaf, so I hear something sometimes, but I don't always hear what's being said or whatever. So I try to keep up with it. Longer sprints let me get into the groove better. I like shorter sprints for drafting, but longer sprints for anything else. Actually, I'm the opposite. I like longer sprints for drafting because I can get a lot done when I draft. But when I have to revise and edit, it's like, oh, I don't like revising and editing. Got to the bookstore, start looking into Google form for beta readers. I've used a Google form for beta readers before. I do sometimes like an interest form because now I use alpha readers, beta readers, and I do a typo buster team, an art team, and then I have my street team. So I do an interest form to see who's interested in being on which part. And I'll have a lot of my readers will be like several. They want to be the alpha and beta reader and be like on the street team or whatnot. So 479 words and a little research hole while eating lunch to make sure I'm writing the MC's job properly. What's the job? Just curious. I do 30-minute sprints if I'm writing at home, and then 25 when I'm writing at a coffee shop, but not a streamer. So 25, that's like The Pomodoro sprints are built on the 25-minute sprints. Learning what the audience wants. Love, yeah, Mermurder. I love that too. Mermurder. I didn't think of just mermaid, but that would be like a, subverting their thoughts when they would go into it.
I think when I talked about it, I would just say merfolk. So
I say merfolk too. I think we had this discussion a couple years ago when we were talking about merfolk, and then you told me about
probably
something else that
murder. It's probably
whatever something, and it was like someone came up with it online, but it meant something else. I don't remember what it was. I started describing one of mine as it's what would happen if the bodyguard had an HEA and Mission Impossible antics. Ooh, I like that. True blurbs that are too long or elaborate put me off. Keep it simple. I did TV, lots of behind the scenes work. Nice. That is our Kauffman, if you guys didn't know. Oh, is that me? Giving people something to relate to can help. Just graduated with a screenwriting degree. Would love to chat about your experiences sometime. That's it for you, Kauffman, the CB. That is the other half of Sam, who does like the book talk about books and the work in progress days and stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. That's really awesome. I love chatting with writers about everything. I feel like I'm just a student of writing, so I try to learn from everyone.
Using main tropes and a twist on a trope can be helpful, especially because as an author, you feel there's so much more you need to describe the story. Yeah. Told my hubs and bestie the title of my current work in progress, and we're like, well, when can I read it? So I guess the title is enough this time. Woo, that's great.
Literally, that's all I need. CB and I were looking for a K-drama to watch, and she would tell me the title, and I'd be like, okay, yeah, sounds good. And then she'd like expect me to want to hear more, and I'm like, no.
The title is good.
There's this one called it's something about peacocks in the rainforest or whatever, and I'm like, we gotta watch that. And she's like, what's it about? And I'm like, I have no idea, but the title was fantastic. So
my MC's paralegal. I need to make sure I wasn't turning her too much into an actual lawyer. So that was for the job, and I was asking about it earlier. So I know paralegals, they stay really, really busy. Because don't they do like a lot of the research on cases and things like that? I think at least that's what my aunt used to do when she was a paralegal. But that was years and years ago. It's so neat how when people ask what I'm writing, Sopranos with Magic, it's way more positive reactions than going into what the story actually is. Yes. So that's kind of like that idea of, figuring out what your story is like. I had a meeting with someone earlier this week that's really good at book marketing. And he was helping me with my copy for my Kickstarter and whatnot. And he was like, well, what would you say your book is like? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, so I'm not very good at this point. Well, he said, well, who do you like to read it? One of my favorites, Carissa Broadbent. He said, well, do you think you write like her? I'm like, no, she writes way much better. So much better than me. Obviously, she's, got picked up for traditional publishing. But I guess he told me to think about like the story, like what's the story getting at? What's the heart? Where does it go? That kind of stuff. And so that kind of helped. I can't live the way Sam lives. I need details. I always think paralegals are lawyers with parachutes.
I'm glad I'm not the same. Or like, I am not alone in that sometimes. Like, I know what a paralegal is, but still, every time somebody tells me that, I'm like, yes, a lawyer with a parachute that has eagle wings painted on.
All the research knowledge without having to go to a courtroom. I wouldn't have minded that. I like doing research, but I wouldn't have wanted to argue in front of people. So I think you have to have a certain skill set for that. Alrighty. So Kauffman, you said you're going to stay for another 45 minutes?
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty.
We're being invaded. I don't know if you can see her.
Is it a doggo? It's a doggy.
One of my voidlings is coming out of the void. I can't write with you like that.
They are the lawyer's parachute, Gwen says.
Yes.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started on the next 45 minutes in 3, 2, 1. Good luck. And that is time. How did you guys do? Am I muted?
I had too many tabs open. I was trying to find the right one.
Wait, I hear nobody. Maybe it's me.
No, my child came in right as the sprint ended, so I had to mom for a sec.
I did see you talking, so I figured, but I was like, wait, there's 3 other people. There's gotta be someone saying I must be muted somewhere.
Yeah, y'all. I have to, because as I've said over the weekend, last week now, I guess, everybody got the stomach flu,
Yeah.
but it was like one right after the other. And so I'm like still recovering, but I have to make sure that I don't relapse, especially since my husband is down now. So I took that sprint to just rest and read some webtoons. So
That makes sense. Just found out my husband has the flu. So
No. I tried to keep it away from you, Shanon.
I do remember you said it was over there. She doesn't live too far from me. I was like, yeah, keep it over there.
I just bought a bunch of oranges and some yogurts with some probiotics, because after you have the flu or something, your stomach loses a lot of the good bacteria, so you gotta get that back in there. So
Makes sense.
make sure nobody gets sick again. And thankfully, my kids love oranges. Like, I bought the bag of oranges. I didn't even tell them I bought oranges yet, and then I went like past my kitchen, and there were orange peels already in the trash. And I was like, yes.
Mom score.
Yep.
I feel like I was able to get some good progress. I was able to finish the revision on this chapter I've been working on.
Oh, nice.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Alyce, Devon, how about you guys?
I finished a chapter and then wrote 500 words in the next chapter, so we're doing good.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. Devon, are you still working on social media stuff?
I am. I'm having fun with it too. So,
well, I'm glad. I'm glad you're having fun with it. So, for those who don't know, Devon and I are trading in kind. So, I'm going to be editing her next book, and she's doing my social media for my book launches. So, yeah. So yeah, and I actually did get some writing done. It was like the first time I've written in 10 days, so I was happy. It's actually some revisions on my next book. I was trying to get back into it because I have like 55,000 words in it now, but it's been a while since I've been back to it because that was in November of last year. And so I was doing some revisions, and I had lots of placeholder stuff like name this and like something should go here. And so I was going through and filling in a lot of those things. And I have since November figured out more of my world building because dealing with secret orders in this book. And I was like, I know the names of the secret orders. I kind of know what they are, but I have it broken down by like function and how they integrate in society and what their organizational hierarchy looks like. And I have all that done, but now I need to get that into the book where I had a lot of this placeholder stuff. So I got 84 words done added. But, all right, let's see how everybody else did. I left off. I think this is from the first sprint. Carla had finished cleaning the bathroom, now back to work. Kat ignored me all day yesterday. Now she won't leave me alone. Yeah, mine are sleeping. Random comment, key smash, that will be her. Morgan, hello, how's it going? Martin, hello. Are you guys working on anything? Well, Morgan, I don't know if she's still here, but chapter done, awesome, progress. So close to finishing this chapter. Yes. Is that the one that you were working on yesterday? I don't remember if you said it earlier. I know you were working on, she's another one that has like stuff all over genres, if I remember right. So got 755 words. That's sprint. Nice. Finished the first act, moving well into the next act. It's everywhere right now. I kept working on beta stuff and people watching since the cafe had the bookstore got busier. See, I could not write in public. First of all, I'd be thinking everyone's looking at me while I'm typing. I'm a very slow typer, so I'd feel really conscious. Or what? I'm not conscious. What's the right word? Someone tell me, because I can't think of how it's supposed to sound.
No, I think it's self-conscious.
Mm-hmm.
Self-conscious. Okay. I was thinking I wasn't saying it right. So yeah, it would be. I dictate my drafts, so I can get a lot of words in when I dictate. But typing, I'm slow, very slow. And then I'd be sitting there watching everybody.
I long to I really like just exist. Like I'm an extrovert, so just existing around people fuels and energizes me. So I long to be able to sit at the library or at a cafe or something and work. But all of the ones that I would be able to do that at are too far away from my house. And yesterday I was being taunted and teased by all my co-hosts who live 3 walking minutes away from books.
From bookstores, yeah. I honestly don't go out in public very often. So I'd rather not. But then I'm watching everybody. But I think that's the military side of me, honestly. So, but yeah, 653 words for Randy. Some chips and salsa. Add some chips and salsa. Hope it kicks the brain into gear because spice, but it did not. Oh no, I'm sorry. I vacuumed. Take care of you. It's always good. And finish that one up. Okay, that was was romance or something I think you were talking about. This is about next chapter, which thankfully is about half copy from the last draft, so I didn't have to do the whole thing from scratch. Nice. I prefer to draft though. I used to feel that way about writing in public, but then realized everyone is basically an NPC fixated on their own issues, and I'll probably never see them a second time. True, Rachel, true. I heard is how we may be thinking about what others are thinking when we're in the same space as them, but they're also all thinking the same thing. So no one's really thinking about anyone else or thinking about themselves. I know, I've heard that before. Harlan Ellison used to performatively write in bookshop windows and put the pages up for people to read. I don't even know who that is, but that sounds interesting. I don't think I could do that though. I can't write in public. My computer is not portable.
That is a whole other issue. Yeah.
Well, if I'm out and I'm got an idea, I just open my Gmail and I dictate into my Gmail my thoughts and ideas, and then I submit myself.
Have you finally stopped being a menace?
Yeah, I'm talking about the dog. We are a world of NPCs all thinking they're the protagonists, right?
We are all an NPC in someone else's life simulator.
Yeah. I'll like being in public to write, but I need outlets or my old laptop will run out of battery in 30 minutes. Okay. So to plug it in. Yeah. I said I type slow, so I'll just dictate most stuff until I have to revise and edit, because then you can't really dictate that. It's more work to dictate revisions and edits. So I've tried. I once tried dictating whilst walking down the street, only for someone to walk too close behind me. Yeah.
They wanted to hear how the story was going.
But I think, Martin, didn't we both hear or watch the same video, Michael Laron, and he talks about, he takes his dog out for a walk and he dictates while he's walking. And Michael Laron is very prolific. I mean, I don't even remember how many books. It's over 50 books he has out. Yeah. It's one of the things I really wanted to show my last Romantasy, the dual POV on the same event are seen very differently. Character thinking the other is upset, but the other is preoccupied. Yeah, but if you have the dual POV, you don't always have to necessarily do the same scene over again, because you can build that subtext in there. So if you have a current, a scene before that in the other character's perspective, what their state of mind is, their emotional state. So then when you go into that scene from the other perspective and they respond, you know why they're responding the way they are. So I don't know. I think that's interesting. I have read in the last month, I've read a couple books where the author had dual perspective, and the chapter following a chapter will start a little bit into the scene that we just left. So you're getting the other side. And I actually find it kind of annoying. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I'm like, we just went through this. I don't need to see this and hear this again. Get to the next part. But
I would say that is not the standard. So I think I read enough dual perspective where that's not the case, that if I read one on occasion that was the case, it wouldn't bother me. I can't say how I would feel if that was the standard, though. So I find it interesting that you've read multiple of them in a row.
Well, I've read 34 books already this year, so I read a lot.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. As do I. I would have to go look at my reading chart to know how many I've read this year, but I've read quite a few. So
I'm trying to get used to and figure out how to get more reading in my already packed schedule.
if you're good for it, audiobooks. I like physically read slow, but an audiobook I can get through like.
I wish I could do audiobooks, but with my tone deafness, I can't understand most narrators.
Yeah, that's fair. I between my dyslexia and my chronic migraines, audiobooks.
Audio is
like,
better for you. Yeah.
Yeah. I still prefer, like, there are a couple books that I wasn't able to get a hold of the audiobook, so I've had to read them physically, and I love reading books physically. And I like to say that, like, when I read physical books, I am a marathon reader. So, like, I can read a 300-page book in a day, but, like, that is all I am doing that day. Whereas I have a friend, or like my mom, actually, she can knock a romance novels, which are roughly 350 pages, used to be called like beach reads. And the idea was that you could buy one like on your vacation and then read it on a beach in an afternoon, right? And I was like, I could not fathom being able to do that. My mother, that's the target demographic. She 100% could read that book in that time. So, like, I am envious of her reading speed, especially since her dyslexia is stronger than mine. Like, how? But she
figured out some strategies. Probably.
We are also very different kinds of readers. So, because sometimes, like, when she's reading the book, she'll get to a part and she'll then need to skip to the end to make sure it's worth it for her to continue. And I'm like, no. So,
Rachel, I did see your DMs come through in Instagram. I have been under the mountain of trying to get my Kickstarter up and going for Tuesday. I've actually only slept 8 hours in 3 days. So I'm hoping for a full night of sleep tonight, but I've got to get up early for the gym. So
you need all the coffee.
Yes, I do have another cup of coffee, and I'm usually done before noon, and it's 1:20 my time. But yeah, trying to keep going. But yeah, I'm just now coming up for air. There's a few more things I need to do with my Kickstarter, and some of my readers have already left me comments about things they want to see. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so I need to get in there and fix it. But I'm thinking I'm going to do that's a tomorrow problem. So
one thing at a time. Add it to the list.
Kauffman, you've got to get going. So do you want to do your outro?
Sure. Yes. So I have to take off a little early because, all you know, I am a daily streamer. So I have to prep for today's, which is a podcast episode, which we'll be having in just a little bit, chatting about imposter syndrome. So wait, I have
Did you tell me you don't get imposter syndrome?
Yeah, I don't, which is why it's an interesting one. Like I've experienced it in my life, but it's never been like a major issue for me. But now talking to so many writers, it feels like it's a very predominant issue. Yeah. So I'm like, this was definitely a topic that spoke to me because I know so many deal with imposter syndrome. So I'm very intrigued to learn.
And I love what Rebecca Syme says about it, which I think I said in one of your chats, which is she says imposters don't get imposter syndrome.
Maybe I'm an imposter. I like that.
Yeah.
I like just had that thought. I was like, I don't get imposter syndrome. Hold on.
I think it's more to like make those who get imposter syndrome to feel better, about having it. So.
But yeah, I just wanted to thank you, Shanon, for having me on. And Sam, Alyce, it's a pleasure to meet you guys on stream. Devon, as always, I'm looking forward to our time with the AuthorTube Writing Conference just around the corner. Summer will be here before we know it. For those of you who don't know, Shanon and Devon have invited me to host the AuthorTube Writing Conference. So very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, great on-screen presence.
On occasion, depending on how much coffee or dragons I've had for the day.
There you go. We'll just put dragon on it.
All right. Thanks so much, my friends. I'll catch you all around.
Bye. All right. We got a few more comments.
Void.
Huh? I'm sorry.
I said I'm fighting the void.
Oh. Recommend the Emotion Thesaurus. Yes, I have the Emotion Thesaurus, and I actually had the old one that was like back in 2013. I got it, and they have a new one that's expanded, and I just got the expanded edition for Christmas, so I'm happy to get that. That really does help because I think it's hard for me to think about feelings when I'm writing. I mean, I think I do an okay job with it. My readers tell me I do a good job with it now, but I have a hard time figuring out what it's supposed to be. And the Emotion Thesaurus helps me figure out, oh, okay, that's what that's supposed to be. That's how that would feel for the character, or, you know, because it breaks it down from internal sensations, external sensations, how it can escalate, what kind of nonverbal signals they may give, what they may say to themselves, that kind of stuff. If anyone's never had, if you don't know what the Emotion Thesaurus is. So, Adrienne, hello. How are you doing? One of my beta readers usually reads the last page and first, and I told her she can't do that when she beta reads for me. Are you do you have Mama Maggie? Because Mama Maggie does that. I don't know if you have Mama Maggie, but she always reads the last page of a book before she starts the book.
Honestly, if a beta reader told me that, I wouldn't really have an issue with that because that's just how they read. And you're in the beta reader process, you're getting readers to give you reader reactions, and so that's just their reader reaction. So I personally wouldn't have a problem with it. Like, that's not going to affect how I told the story.
Yeah. I just heard on a podcast that the best way to know if your book is selling what you're trying to sell it for is, you know, or not your book, but if you like someone else's book, you read the blurb and then you read the last page, and they should go hand in hand. So if they don't feel like they're the same story, then the blurb may not be right, or the story may not be where it's supposed to be, or something like that.
I don't agree with that, because usually the blurb is about the beginning of the story, not the end of the story. Because, like,
I guess it's supposed to be like,
if you tell the end of the story in the blurb, what is the purpose
that it would be
of reading?
I think it's supposed to be like the end that would come from that blurb or whatever. Like, it should work together. Just
okay. I can agree that it should work together.
Like,
but like
pieces.
Usually, because like one of the pieces of advice that I have read and that I agree with and that I've seen throughout most of the books that I've read and read the blurbs in the blurb should not contain any information past chapter 3.
Yeah.
Like, you should know everything from the blurb up to chapter 3, which is which I found is actually very consistent. Like, it's not a hard and fast rule, so nobody stress about checking out their chapter 3s and stuff, because, you know, some chapter 1s are longer than others, and if your blurb doesn't get past chapter 1, that's also perfectly
I wonder if you could go by like a beat instead of a chapter, like a certain, like your blurb should go up to a certain beat of the story.
I don't know, possibly. It's, for me, I just don't think it should be a hard and fast rule for anything, because there's lots of different story structures, and a lot of writing advice also heavily focuses on Western story structures, which I think is a shame. Like a climax. Not all story structures actually involve a climax, even though here we're told that a story absolutely has to have a climax. If it doesn't have a climax, it's not a story. And like, that's not true. There's so many Eastern stories that don't actually have climaxes. Like, that's just not how the storytelling there works. And I enjoy like stories from all around. So I hold to the thing that a story just needs a beginning, a middle, and an end, and not necessarily in that order. So I guess I would just say the blurb should, all the info from a blurb a reader should be able to get by the beginning, like just in the beginning of your story, before they get to the middle, I guess, would be my safe bet. But I can agree with the perspective that your blurb and the end of your book should like work together. But yeah, I don't think they should match per se.
So I want to listen to a podcast on imposter syndrome, but I don't feel like I deserve to.
Martin, you gotta up your imposter level.
Yeah. Dragon blood. Are you? I don't know where that's coming from, but I do. Part of my Kickstarter, I'm doing candles again because I homemade candles from my last Kickstarter, where I had dragon's blood is one of the candle scents to go with the dragon, and then the other one was lavender to go with my female protagonist. And this one I'm doing dragon's blood again to go with the dragon, and mermaid because she's a mermaid. For the other one. So yeah, I don't know.
Is there any murder in your story?
There's no more murder. I mean, yes, actually, technically.
Well, is the mermaid doing any murdering?
No. I mean, she murdered her mom, but not on purpose. So it was not a murder. She has dangerous magic.
She destroys feelings.
Mermatricide by accident.
Love it. And in this case, it is a mermaid, not a merman. So, like the idea of this emotion thesaurus. Yeah, it's very handy, Adrian. So handy. I use it all the time. Finish my chapter while we've been chatting. There, you're getting some progress. I don't know if we've got enough time left for another one because we're at like a half hour before the next one. There it is. That's the emotion thesaurus.
It never leaves my desk. It never makes it back onto the bookshelf. It just sits right here.
I have it here too. This is the old one. My new one is still out in the kitchen. But yeah, I keep it right here next to me with my pile of books. It's not so much about the wording, more of, okay, this character reflecting on things that happen and what do they think about it and how do they respond. Oh, okay, so like a sequel, so scene and sequel. So you have a scene and the sequel is when the characters are thinking about what just happened and what they're going to do. Nope, not Mom Maggie. Oh, okay. So it's a different person who likes to read the last page first. That is very interesting.
Yeah, that's not an uncommon thing for readers to do. It's kind of it goes along with the thing with like movies and stuff that the majority of people actually enjoy movies if they know how it's going to end. Whereas the minority of people enjoy movies if they don't know the ending. I'm in the minority, but my husband's in the majority. I was very devastated because I thought I was in the majority, but then like we looked it up and stuff, and there's actually been like studies done, and I was like, what do you mean most people like to be spoiled? What? So same with books, actually. Most people like to be reassured that like they understand how it's going to end, and then like they can lose themselves in the media easier. Which is also why a lot of people don't like buying series before they are complete. But like, you got to support the series while it's being made, or it might not be complete.
Yeah, that's why, the first 3 books of the series are all standalone, so you can read them in any order. But the next part is the sequel series, and that kicks off after this series, but continues the storyline. And that one, I'm going to write it all before I publish any of it. So, because I know people don't like to buy things that are not complete.
Yeah, don't do like me and write the last
She wrote
book.
her last book first. So there you go about reading the last page. She wrote her last book first, and now she's writing her first book second.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be ready. You'll be able to like batch release.
So, yeah, exactly.
She'll be like, hey, book 1 comes out this time. And then she'll be like, she'll have her marketing campaigns and everything planned while she's working on a completely different series, last to first.
Yes.
I guess Sanderson lectures mentioned that they've done tests that people who have had a story spoiled enjoy it more. I'm not. Mm-hmm. I love twists, and I don't want spoilers.
Yeah, Shannon, you and I.
Same, yeah.
But minority. So
I did not realize that was a minority.
I'm in this minority too.
But my husband, he likes to spoil things and like even surprises. So he said, okay, we're going to go out to eat for Valentine's Day, but I'm not going to tell you. I was like, good, don't tell me. Okay, you're going to need to dress this certain way because we're going to go to this restaurant. Don't tell me. Then the next day, well, it's going to be an Italian restaurant. I'm like, don't tell me. Like I had to tell him.
You already said too much. You said we're leaving the house. That is already too much.
Yes. I was like, I like surprises. Don't spoil it for me.
So, Devon, do you like to be spoiled, or do you prefer?
No, but let me tell you the last time I spoiled a book for myself.
Okay.
I was doing a YouTube video, and I flipped to the back of the book to see how many pages there were. And on the last page,
no.
the story still continued. And I was like, no.
I just wanted to look at page numbers.
And it was a mystery, too.
Oh no.
That's the worst.
I think this is what I was trying to say, but I didn't say it as well as Adrian, that the blurb and the end of the book should like bookend each other, basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just didn't say it right. I wasn't saying, I was trying to remember what they said, and I was probably missaying what it was.
I got you. It's fine. Look, as a dyslexic, I frequently miscommunicate and then have to fix it. You know this.
Yeah.
So,
rule of thumb for blurbs is the first quarter of the book, which the first quarter is typically the first act. If you're going by a 3-act structure or even a 4-act structure.
Just before the middle. So, yeah.
I can't confirm. Someone tells me, and at the end, it becomes this huge battle between A and B, and I'm like, gimme. Oh, no, not me. I'm like, well, now I know I don't need it. But see, this goes along with the way my writing style. Like, if I write out my plot, my outline stuff, I'm like, okay, I know the story. I don't need to write it. so I don't plot things. As a person who loves spoilers, I can agree with this. If I read spoilers for something, it'll only make me want to read something or watch something more.
And like I said, when my mom gets to a certain part, usually it's if she's getting annoyed because the main characters are being stupid, she then needs to go to the end to make sure that she'll get an ending worth putting up with their stupidity. My mother is not a gentle soul.
Richard wrote an 8K word prologue. That's a lot. That's like 4 or 5 of my chapters.
Sir, that is a prequel short story that you should release as a pre-order bonus.
Oh wait, Gwen said the same thing, same wavelength.
See?
Yeah. I mean, Sam, do you need me to do another sprint? I know we did 2.
Oh,
no, it's good. Okay,
we did like 3.
No, I did 2, but they were both 45 minutes. So what is that? An hour and a half?
That's fine. We aren't doing minimums anymore because people have got the hang of it and stuff, basically. And then the minimum just kind of added some unnecessary stress. So,
gotcha.
Like everybody has been doing this event long enough that they've got a good feel for it. And we have a lot more, because like when we started the event, not as many hosts were as experienced and stuff, but now that there's enough experience and everything where new hosts are actually like, we only get 1 or 2 completely new hosts an event, and then everybody else kind of helps them out, so you're good.
See, booktubers
just
use
chat.
I'm sorry. Chat. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen booktubers have issues with trad-pubbed books that have a spoiler for something about halfway through in the blurb.
Oh my god.
Blurb? I would try to avoid that.
I hate that.
Yeah, no spoilers in the blurb. Also, like, I hate like new trailers. I can't blame them because, like I said, they did the studies and stuff to prove that people like the spoilers. So that's why new trailers for movies and stuff are far more spoily than traditional trailers used to be. But because of that, I refuse to watch trailers at all now. I have only watched one
put
trailer.
All the good bits in it.
Yeah, I've watched one trailer recently, and that is only because my sister, which it's kind of funny because my sister was like, Sam, there's a vampire movie that I want to see. And I'm like, Kate, I'm down. And she's like, Anna's got Michael B. Jordan. And I'm like, I'm even more down. I love that man. And then she's like, and you have to watch the trailer. And I'm like, excuse me, Miss Ma'am. And she's like, no, you have to watch a specific version of the trailer. And I was like, okay. And I did. And I was like, all right, we definitely like there's no way upon earth that we are not seeing this movie now. He's playing himself. Like, Michael B. Jordan is I call it parent trapping because Lindsay Lohan is the first actor I know who like played 2 characters on screen. But like Jim Carrey recently did it for a Sonic movie, and so I'm like, everyone's doing it now, but Michael B. Jordan is like playing himself and his brother, and I'm like, I got to see it. So
I have a funny story with my blurb for my first book. Rachel Adams, if you know her, she did my blurbs. And when I gave her my first one, because I was thinking about revamping it, she said, "Why would you end it like that? You just told how the whole story ends." And I'm like, "Does it really? It's not how it looks to me."
I guess that people like to buy books as they are done. Some of us don't like to wait. I mean, I guess I could say I have a couple of readers, 3, who they were beta and alpha readers for my book that's coming out as a Kickstarter. So it's not out yet, right? So they've read it and they've already been asking me for the next book. And I had the first act done. And so they're all reading that. One's already finished it. And I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to get back to it. So it is what it is. And it's a very, very, very rough draft with all my placeholder names. And they're actually trying to give me like names, like where I have placeholder stuff, like, oh, you could do this, or, they're helping me out.
They're like, I will help you finish it because I need
Yes.
more. My mom has told me that I have given her, with the release of my first 2 books, which were part of a series that I have currently unpublished. But she, like, when I first published them, she's like, you've given me such a emotional crisis. And I was like, what did I do? And she's like, you released a series. And I'm like, oh, I see what I did. Because my mother is one of those people that doesn't like to, well, like, she'll buy a series, but she doesn't want to actually read it until it's done, so that she could just read it all in one go. And she's like, but I need to support you, my child. I was like, I'm sorry, your priorities as a mom are clashing with your priorities as a reader.
See, I bought and I read Fourth Wing and I liked it, and I've gotten the next couple books, but the series is not done, so I'm not touching them until the series is done. Then I'll go back and read Fourth Wing and then read the rest of it.
That's fair.
Oh wait, Devon's gonna show us something.
What was that?
I waited for the series to be done to get the box set.
I
haven't read any of them yet.
One thing that I like to do, and I tell people this all the time, because I work in manga sales and stuff, but it's, if you want the really cool version of a box set, but you already have so many of a series, I'm like, just get the box set and either give them to somebody that you want to get started in the series, because it's free and they may enjoy it. You can donate it to a local library, give it to thrift stores, or even you could just resell it on eBay. So, like, why deny yourself the pretty collectible thing that you really want just because you already own a couple volumes? Like, you are not soul tied to those volumes. It is okay. Or like, say, like, you do have really sentimental connections to the volumes you already own, just sell the ones from the box.
I'm not sure what this is for.
Yet.
I went to Wendy's. I'm not sure what this is. Is it because of red hair?
Wendy's house.
Or is it Peter Pan's Wendy?
And I have to say, the only thing about writing the last book first of my series is I'm locked in to what has been mentioned in that last book. And I'm a creative writer, so there is like no plotting. But I have a beginning and an end for every book.
Yeah, you and me, we're like that, the same. Yeah. And I know the ending of this series, like at this, even my sequel series, I know the ending of it already. It's just, and I know how it's starting. I just don't know the middle stuff. I kind of have some ideas, but I don't know if that's going to happen because I have ideas all the time that just get thrown out the window when I actually start writing. So I spoil myself by Googling things a lot, but I hate when other people spoil things. It has to be on my own terms. I get that.
It's the control. I will, like, if we're like watching or reading anything, especially horror, and a dog appears, I will immediately Google, does the dog die?
There is a website for that
called Does the Dog Die?
Oh yeah,
I'm not alone.
Yeah, I've heard of that site. I was, it was, you know, I heard it was in a short or something, like a YouTube short, and they were saying about this website that if you want to know if a dog dies in a movie, how come there isn't one for humans? Like X amount of humans die in this movie.
Because dogs are precious beings that are completely innocent, and humans are complicated, and our feelings towards each other are complicated. So
True. Lost count. It was just the 2 sprints. We're going to be wrapping up here. Actually, we've got to get ready for the next sprint, which is the final sprint of the write-a-thon. Although there is still one more. Is it like the closing session? I don't know what you guys call that. The last part of the
closing ceremony.
Ceremony. Okay, I knew it was closing something, and I kept saying session because that's what we call it, the AWC. So, so we got one more sprint stream happening right after this one. If you're in the playlist, you should go right there. And then if not, and I'll be on the next one along with Sam and Alyce. You're on the next one too?
I don't think so.
No. Okay. So it's just me and Sam. We're on the next one. So that one is Natalie. I haven't seen Natalie for a while. It's been a minute since I've caught up with her. So that'll be cool. So let's go ahead. We'll get through the rest of the comments here. But if my co-hosts want to go ahead and do their outros.
I had to burp right as you said that. Hi, I'm Writing Mom Samantha Elnasset. On my channel, I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things. I host live streams on Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We do write-ins, sometimes writing competitions, sometimes party. Next month, I will be hosting the Flash Fiction Free-for-All and a quarterly party because I like to celebrate things, and celebrating getting through 3 months of the year is worth celebration to me. I also host Whip Wednesdays with CB Friends. This week it will be on my channel. It is 3 hours where we do long sprints, and it's dedicated to working on our whips and nothing else because life can get hectic and sometimes we can forget to prioritize those. We are also doing a Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough on her channel. I highly recommend checking out episode 1, Barbarian Solutions, and you guys will see a gremlin side of Sam you may not have realized existed. And then we also do some book talks 2 Saturdays out of the month. Next, we are talking about Scumville and Self-Saving System, Volume 3, which will be the finale of the plot. I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, I also co-organize this event, and I try to be on and at as many streams as physically possible. So yeah, go ahead, Alyce.
Great. I'm Alyce Reeds. I make AuthorTube and BookTube content here on the YouTubes, and I stream Tuesdays through Saturdays in the morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Devon?
I will have updates. Well, I'm going to post 2 videos a month because my life is just chaotic at the moment. But I will have a video update on my 25 and 2025, which is 25 published or ready to publish works this year. And I will also have the books that I purchased for February and March coming up. And I'll also highlight the book convention that I just went to yesterday and that as well.
Awesome. And I'm Shanon. You're here on my channel, ST Houston. I will be having my writing sprints this week. So tomorrow is marathon sprints. It's 1 hour long sprints. And I go for roughly 6 hours. And then on Tuesday is Pomodoro sprints, but with 45-minute sprints, going roughly about 3.5 hours altogether. And then following my sprints on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, is the launch of my Kickstarter. And we'll actually start a live stream off with best-selling authors Lindsay Pogue and Kay Webster, who co-wrote in a shared world, Two Brothers, a post-apocalyptic, can't say that word, apocalyptic. did I say it right? Okay. World with adventure, a little bit of romance, and they co-wrote in this world and then put together a special edition omnibus and kicked off a Kickstarter, which fully funded within the first day and the first couple hours. And it still will be open when I bring them on, but we'll talk about writing in a shared world and what that looked like for them, benefits, things that they had to look out for. And then we'll move into how they decided to do their Kickstarter together. And then we'll push the go live button on my Kickstarter. And so that's on Tuesday. Looking forward to that. Thank you, everyone. Sam and Alyce and Devon, and of course, Kauffman, who is here, for joining me today on this stream. It's always so wonderful to be part of the Storytellers Hearth Relay Weekends. And I will see everyone at the next one. Bye, y'all.